parenting, and my specific area for this project is permissive parenting. We conceptualized the construct and operational definitions to suit our individual hypotheses. Many articles before had mentioned permissive parenting, however, not many placed much focus on the topic and its effects. So, we as a group have decided to research our individual parenting styles to address the lack of focused information. An example of one of my hypotheses would be children of permissive parents are more likely to have lower academic success compared to children of other parenting types. Some questions related were: does the permissive parenting style high receptive and low demand, lenient? Describe your parents. Do your parents have expectations regarding your education? What is your current GPA? The data collected was quantitative. The participants were college students at LBCC. The method for collection was a questionnaire of 33 questions asking about background, relationships, and mental state, etc. For the example shown, the results proved to support the hypothesis, drawing most connections to listed expectations and positive GPA. The main takeaway from the group's hypothesis was most parenting styles shown to pose negative effects besides authoritative. As for future directions, the study can be performed similarly. However, its focus was on quantitative data. The population could have been greater. As such, something that could have been done would be collecting data from both PCC, and LAC campuses. Thank you for listening to my presentation.
Our topic is helicopter parenting. What is helicopter parenting? Well, it's when parents hover over your every move, also known as overbearing parents, making decisions for child rather than allowing them to make their own choices, constant intervention and problem solving on the child's behalf, rather than allowing them to learn and develop independence. The hypothesis that I had was, is being raised by a helicopter parent have a correlation with academic achievements or lack of academic achievements compared to those individuals who were raised by other sorts of parenting styles. The methods I used was the questionnaire will be done online with the criteria of 20 random 18 to 30-year-old individuals raised by helicopter parents, and then 20 random 18 to 30-year-old who were raised with different parenting styles, and both groups will be from the United States. The survey I used is called the Academic Performance Questionnaire. The scale uses a 5-point scale to answer all the questions. The results were the average percentage for non-helicopter raised kids was higher than and then they achieved more than the average of 24.85 compared to those average of 22.65 for the kids raised by helicopter parents, which means this proved my hypothesis that there was a relationship between parental involvement in students' academic achievements, and it's not a good one. In a conclusion, this style of parenting can hinder children's development and independence, resilience, and problem-solving skills, which are crucial for academic success in the long run. The lack of autonomy and decision-making opportunities may also lead to increased stress, anxiety, and burnout in children. Therefore, while helicopter parenting may seem like it helps academic achievements, it honestly doesn't. It's important for parents to strike a balance between support their children and allowing children to develop their own skills and abilities to create their independence. A limitation that I had was the sample size, obviously. I mean, I wish it could be a little bit bigger. And the finding the people raised by helicopter parents was hard to come by, and definitely took a little longer than expected. So those are two limitations that I hope to change and do it over again if I could. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I am Angela Romtouch from Group 5, and my area of the study for this project is authoritarian parenting style. Many research articles before have addressed authoritarian parenting style typically as strict, over-controlling, harsh, and overall associated negatively. Therefore, I wanted to conduct a research to determine whether authoritarian parenting style can be associated with positive outcomes. For example, in specific areas such as academic performance, psychological effects, and relationships. And overall, our group has focused our research on the lack of information on specific parenting styles. One of my hypotheses is that children raised in authoritarian parenting style can easily form social and personal relationships than other children raised in different parenting styles. Some questions asked in a questionnaire relating to the topic are, do you have or have you ever suffered from anxiety or self-esteem issues? How many close relationships do you currently have? And do you turn to your parents for comfort, advice, or support? The participants were students from Long Beach City College, and the data collection was quantitative. The method for data collection was a questionnaire consisting of 33 questions, in which all 5 members constructed a minimum of 5 questions each. Questions which included demographics, relationships, academics, and parental situations. For example, on a scale of 1 to 5, how comfortable are you when forming social relationships? From least comfortable to most. Results and findings. Children raised in authoritarian parenting style revealed to have the weakest emotional availability compared to children of authoritative parenting. Specifically, authoritarian parenting style can cause children to develop antisocial behaviors and aggression, which can lead to lack of social skills and antisocial friendships and relationships. Some children become more aggressive and are unable to control their behavior or emotions, which leads to uncontrollable school behavior. In conclusion, the group's hypotheses showed that authoritative parenting displays positive effects, while the other parenting styles researched are associated with negative outcomes. For future directions, our research is simple and easy to follow as it just focuses on quantitative data. No research or study is completely perfect or flawless, in this case, an insufficient sample size, which could have been greater. Also, question bias, as some questions could have been worded differently to avoid misrepresentation. More demographic information could also have been gathered, such as ethnicity or employment status. That is all, and thank you for watching.
My name is Mila Miguel. I'm in Group 5, and my individual topic is the uninvolved parenting style. For some background, the uninvolved parenting style is used by parents who lack the responsiveness and warmth that a child needs during adolescence. Some issues associated and addressed are parental burnout, effects on education, behavior, and self-harm. This is a citation from a research article that I used in my literature review. This research is necessary because I feel it's important to be aware of how you were raised, and it could help explain some of the issues that you're facing today. My hypothesis is risk-taking behaviors and low self-esteem are prevalent in children raised by uninvolved parents. This is a quantitative study. The methods. The procedure was handed out surveys to LBCC students on campus and online. The participants of the study were 50 LBCC students, comprised of 27 female students and 23 male students. The materials used in this study were a consent form and a 33-question survey. This is an example of a question that's on the survey. The results to this hypothesis was that there was a positive correlation between children raised by uninvolved parents and risk-taking behaviors. To conclude, children raised by uninvolved parents do in fact face more of a risk to risk-taking behaviors and low self-esteem. Our group concluded that the parenting style that has the most positive effects on offspring is the authoritative parenting style. Some future directions, shortcomings, and limitations to this research can be a bigger sample size used, because I feel the sample size was a bit small, and maybe the location of the study taking place, because maybe the location may have an effect on the results. Beware of spurious relationships. Maybe a qualitative analysis would work in this study. And a shortcoming may be that this sample size does not represent the population.
Hey everyone, my name is Giselle Solosa. I'm a part of Group 5 and I'm studying authoritative parenting style. My specific concept, authoritative parenting style, is basically a parenting approach that balances demandingness and responsiveness from the parent expectant of the children. The parents are nurturing, supportive, and accepting of their child. They're affectionate and attentive, and they openly display this. They also establish and maintain authority by setting ground rules and boundaries, then taking the time to listen to the child's input along with explaining each one to them. They also make sure to enforce consequences for failure to abide by them. The problem with this research concept is that many researchers have discussed the topic in regards to how it molds the child, but not in regards to how it further impacts their romantic relationships during their adulthood. So my specific research addresses how authoritative parental practices impacted the individual down the line pertaining to romantic relationships in terms of cooperability. Hypothesis. The hypothesis that I tested was individuals who were raised with the authoritative parenting style are more likely to have better romantic relationship quality than those raised with other parenting styles. The independent variable is authoritative parenting, which is measured through the operational definitions of high demandingness and high responsiveness. And the dependent variable is relationship quality, which is measured through the operational definitions of communication skills and comfortability with intimacy and conflict resolution skills. Methods. The participants were students from Long Beach City College. The data collected was quantitative. The method utilized to collect the data was a questionnaire composed of 33 questions with contributions from each member pertaining to their specific research concept. The questionnaire centered on questions regarding demographics, parental experiences, relationships, mental health, and academics. The specific question that benefited my research concept was on a scale from 1 to 5, 1 being the least, 5 being the most, how would you rate your comfortability with receiving various forms of affection from your most serious partner? Results and findings. Adults raised under parents practicing the authoritative parenting style have demonstrated greater practices that ultimately cultivate greater relationship quality in comparison to adults raised under other parenting styles. The conclusions I made were specific to conflict resolution skills, more ease with communicating feelings, and more comfortability with giving and receiving intimacy in their romantic relationships. A specific question that contributed to this entire conclusion was on a scale from 1 to 5, 1 being the least, 5 being the most, how would you rate the level of difficulty in communicating your feelings in your most serious romantic relationship? Conclusions. The testing of each hypothesis led us to the conclusion that the practice of the authoritative parenting style yields the most positive results in comparison to the other parenting styles. The authoritarian, helicopter, uninvolved, and permissive styles can each lead to various negative results. Future direction, shortcomings, and limitations. Our approach in research and data collection has allowed us to efficiently conduct our project. However, we will take several things into consideration in future research endeavors. For one, we have benefited greatly in the use of quantitative data, but we wish to use more of qualitative data. One limitation is our small sample size. Rather than collecting data from both Long Beach City College campuses, we only collect the data from the LAC campus. In our future endeavors, we can collect both from LAC and PCC. We can also collect information about non-parental situations, as my specific research focused on parenting impact that went into relationship but didn't consider the possible traumatic experiences or any life experiences that was experienced in between both. We can also gather more demographic information. Thank you.